Imagine a time before time itself. A vast void, empty and silent. Nothing existed. Not the heavens, not the earth, not even a thought of what could be. But then, something stirred in the dark abyss. Not a whisper, not a sound, but the seed of all creation was planted. This moment, this spark, is where everything begins, before the gods, before creation, before the world we know. In ancient Gnostic texts, a forbidden story unfolds, a truth hidden for centuries. We are taught that God, the Creator, made everything from nothing. But what if that's not the full story? What if there was something that existed before God, a force older than all things? This is a tale of cosmic powers, realms beyond understanding, and the forces that shaped everything you see. Some believe that the true God is not the one we worship. In fact, the God we know might not even be the Creator. Could it be that a false deity, an impostor, shaped our world not as a paradise, but as a prison? The search for the true Creator begins in the forbidden texts, where the answers lie buried in the ancient scrolls. As we look deeper into the darkness before creation, we find an unsettling truth. In the realms beyond our understanding, there was no single, unified God. There were many. But not all were good. Some were, in fact, archons, dark, controlling entities that rule over our existence, keeping us bound in a controlled, false reality. These archons have ruled from the shadows, hiding the true origin of existence and manipulating everything we know. For thousands of years, humanity has been enslaved by their deception. The true Creator, if one even exists, is concealed by these beings, making it impossible for us to grasp the full truth of our origins. As we begin to uncover the hidden wisdom of the ancient Gnostics, we learn that the archons, these dark entities, designed the world we live in as a matrix, a simulation to trap our minds. They are not our creators but our captors, bending the laws of reality to imprison our souls. The world, as we see it, is not real. It's a lie, carefully crafted to keep us blind to the truth of who we are. Picture the world you know, your life, the people you love, the nature around you. What if all of it was an illusion? The ancient Gnostic texts tell us that the world we live in was created by a being that, while powerful, is not the true God. This world, our reality, was created by a false deity, an impostor that calls itself God. The true Creator, the source of all life, is hidden from us. The world we experience is the work of a lesser being, one who wanted to control and manipulate creation for its own purposes. And what is this world designed to do? To trap us in a cycle of ignorance, to keep us from knowing the deeper truth of our existence. The story goes that the false god, an entity known as Yaldabaoth, created the physical universe as a prison, where souls would be trapped in human bodies, unaware of the vast, infinite realms beyond. This false deity's aim? To keep us ignorant, to prevent us from discovering our true nature. In this world, suffering, limitation, and despair are the tools used to distract us from the truth. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of truth remains. The ancient Gnostics, keepers of forbidden wisdom, understood that the human soul is not bound to this false world forever. They believed that hidden deep within each person is the key to escaping the prison of the material world. This key is knowledge, gnosis. It is the understanding of our true origins and our connection to the divine, beyond the confines of this false reality. The Gnostics warned us that our salvation lies in awakening to the truth, breaking free from the illusion of the material world, and rediscovering the divine spark within us. The path to freedom is not easy. It requires the courage to see beyond the lies and to face the terrifying truth that the world we know was created to keep us enslaved. In these ancient texts, we learn that the false god and its archons will fight to keep us ignorant, to keep us blind. But those who seek the truth, those who unlock the secrets hidden in the forbidden wisdom, will find a way to escape this world. Their souls can rise above the lies, and they can reclaim their true divine nature. The greatest battle is not fought with weapons, but with perception. The archons, the rulers of this false reality, have one weapon more powerful than any sword: deception. Through the veil of illusion, they have shaped the way we see the world, keeping us trapped in a cycle of ignorance and suffering. But the war for our freedom begins with awakening. The key to breaking free lies in our ability to see through the lies, to break the chains of perception that bind us to this world. As we begin to understand the true nature of our existence, we realize that the battle is not for control of the physical world, but for control of our minds and souls. In this hidden war, knowledge is the most powerful weapon. and the ancient Gnostic texts provide the guidance we need to reclaim our power and transcend the false reality designed to imprison us. The battle is fought not in the physical world, but in the realm of consciousness itself. The true Creator, the source of all life, is waiting for us to awaken to the truth. In the depths of the hidden realms, there was one being who rebelled against the false creation, Sophia. She was a divine being, an emanation of the true Creator. Sophia, in her pure form, was one with the divine source, filled with wisdom and light. But something went terribly wrong. She sought to create on her own, to bring forth creation without the consent of the true Creator. In her attempt to create a world independent of the divine order, she fell. Her creation, however, was imperfect. It became tainted, a reflection of her own fractured state. This flawed creation, born of Sophia's error, gave birth to the false god, Yaldabaoth, the being that would go on to shape our world as a prison. Sophia's fall became the catalyst for the creation of the material world. Her grief, regret, and pain were imprinted upon the fabric of this false reality, giving rise to the suffering that permeates our existence. But in her fall, Sophia also left behind the key to our salvation, a path that leads back to the divine source. It is through remembering Sophia's wisdom and the lessons she left behind that we can begin to rise above this false world. After Sophia's fall, Yaldabaoth, the false god, ruled over the creation with absolute power. He believed himself to be the only god, the one true ruler of the universe, and created a race of beings known as the Archons to serve him. These beings, without souls of their own, exist to manipulate and control the physical world. They operate in the shadows, maintaining the illusion that we live in a world of order and purpose. Yaldabaoth created humans, but not with the spark of the true divine Creator. Instead, he created us with a flawed nature, one bound to the material world. We were trapped in bodies, subjected to the Archon's control, our consciousness obscured from the higher realms. The purpose of our existence was not to evolve toward enlightenment, but to remain enslaved in this illusory world. The Archons, in service to Yaldabaoth, have kept humanity in darkness for eons. They manipulate our perceptions, controlling our thoughts, desires, and actions so that we never question the world around us. Their power lies in keeping us asleep, unaware of our true potential and divine origin. Despite the darkness that surrounds us, something remains, something powerful and eternal. Deep within each of us lies a divine spark, a fragment of the true Creator's essence. This spark, though dimmed by the physical world and the Archon's influence, is the key to our liberation. It is through this divine spark that we can awaken to our true nature and remember the truth of who we are. The Gnostics believed that salvation begins with the awakening of this divine spark. It is not a matter of external salvation, but of internal realization. To awaken is to break free from the false constructs of the material world and reconnect with the divine source. This spark of divinity connects us to the true Creator, to the cosmos, and to each other. It is the force that allows us to transcend the lies and illusions of the Archons. By nurturing this spark, by seeking knowledge, we can free ourselves from the false reality and reunite with the divine light. The journey to awakening is not easy. It requires the seeker to go beyond the surface, to peel back the layers of illusion that veil the truth. This path, known as Gnosis, is the process of inner knowing, an intimate, experiential understanding of the divine. It is not something that can be taught, but something that must be experienced firsthand. Through Gnosis, we can see beyond the limitations of the material world and connect with the higher realms of existence. The ancient Gnostics were the torchbearers of this path, preserving the sacred knowledge that would allow others to awaken. But this knowledge was hidden, often erased or suppressed by the forces that seek to keep us enslaved. The path of Gnosis is about seeking truth, questioning everything, and breaking free from the chains of ignorance. It is about looking beyond the veil of the physical world and seeing the divine spark within all things. As we walk this path, we gradually begin to shed the false identities imposed by the material world and rediscover our true essence. The ultimate goal of the seeker is to achieve the final awakening, the realization that we are not our bodies, not our minds, not the world around us. We are divine beings, eternal and infinite, connected to the true Creator and to the cosmos itself. This is the great revelation, the truth that the Archons have worked so tirelessly to keep hidden. In this final awakening, the seeker transcends the false reality created by Yaldabaoth and the Archons. They rise above the material world and return to the divine source, where they are reunited with the true Creator. This is not the end, but a return to the beginning, a return to the state of pure, unbroken unity with the divine. The path to this awakening is fraught with challenges, but it is also the most rewarding journey one can undertake. As we awaken to the truth of our divine nature, we begin to see the world with new eyes. The chains that once bound us to the material world are broken, and we are free to create, to live, and to exist as the divine beings we were always meant to be. As the awakening of humanity grows stronger, the archons sense the threat to their control. Their reign over the physical world is built on deception, and the truth of our divine nature poses a direct challenge to their power. Desperate to maintain their dominance, the archons will do whatever it takes to suppress the truth and prevent humanity from breaking free. The archons are cunning. They do not openly attack, but instead they weave subtle deceptions into the fabric of our reality. They manipulate our thoughts, fears, and desires, creating distractions that keep us trapped in the illusion. They make us chase after material wealth, power, and superficial success, distracting us from the pursuit of truth and spiritual liberation. The battle is not one of physical force, but a war of perception and consciousness. As we awaken to the truth, the archons' influence over our minds weakens. But they will stop at nothing to keep us blind to our true power. Their final stand is a desperate attempt to keep us in the dark, to keep us trapped in the prison they have built. As the darkness of the archons tightens its grip on the world, there is a force that rises to challenge it, a force that has always been there, though suppressed for millennia. This force is the divine feminine, represented in the form of Sophia, the wisdom of the true Creator. The divine feminine is not just a concept, it is a living force, present in all things, guiding us toward awakening. Sophia, the fallen but redeemable being, represents the wisdom that transcends the material world. She is the source of spiritual insight and inner knowing that leads us to gnosis. Throughout history, the divine feminine has been hidden, silenced, and even vilified. But as the world changes, the divine feminine is beginning to rise again, helping to reveal the truth and awaken the souls that are ready to break free from the archon's control. It is through embracing the wisdom of the divine feminine that we can access the deeper truths of the universe and reconnect with the divine source. The world we see is not the world we think it is. The matrix, the illusion of reality, is a carefully constructed system that keeps us trapped in a loop of suffering and limitation. Every aspect of our lives is controlled, from the way we think to the choices we make. This system is designed to prevent us from seeing the truth, to keep us focused on the false material world and the fabricated narrative of our existence. The matrix is not just a metaphor, it is a living force that governs our perceptions. The rules of the matrix are deeply embedded in our culture, our education, and our society. We are taught from a young age to accept the world as it is, to believe in the limits placed upon us, and to ignore the deeper mysteries of existence. But the more we awaken, the more we begin to see the cracks in the matrix. The illusion begins to break down. What we thought was solid and real begins to shift, revealing a deeper, more profound reality. The world is not as it seems, and the matrix that has controlled our lives is starting to unravel. As we awaken, we begin to see the system for what it truly is, a prison designed to keep us asleep. Long before the mainstream religions of the world took hold, the Gnostics held the key to understanding our true nature. Their teachings, now hidden in forbidden texts, reveal a truth far beyond the conventional stories told by the world's religions. The Gnostic wisdom speaks of a hidden God, a divine spark within each of us, and a path to liberation that transcends the material world. The Gnostics understood that the key to awakening lies within. It is not found in external rituals or worship, but in the personal, inner experience of knowing the truth. Their teachings are a roadmap to gnosis, the knowledge that frees the soul from the chains of the false reality. The Gnostic texts, such as those found in the Nag Hammadi library, hold the secrets to breaking free from the matrix. These ancient scrolls contain the wisdom passed down by those who have already awakened, those who have seen beyond the veil and discovered the true nature of existence. It is through these teachings that we can reclaim our divine heritage and rise above the lies that have kept us imprisoned. The journey of awakening is not easy, but it is the only path to true freedom. As we begin to understand the truth of our origins, the divine spark within us grows brighter. We no longer accept the illusions of the material world or the false narratives that the archons have woven. We begin to see through the veil, understanding that the world we see is not the world we were meant to experience. The final liberation is the realization that we are not bound by the physical world or the false god that created it. We are eternal beings, connected to the true Creator, the source of all life. When we awaken to this truth, we are free, free from the lies, free from the archons, free from the prison of the material world. This liberation is not just for the individual, but for all of humanity. As more souls awaken to the truth, the power of the archons diminishes. The false world begins to break apart, and the true reality begins to shine through. The final liberation is the return to the divine source, where we are reunited with the Creator in a state of pure, unbroken unity. The journey toward liberation is not a solitary one. While each individual must awaken on their own, the collective consciousness of humanity is also beginning to stir. As more and more souls awaken to the truth, the very fabric of reality begins to shift. This shift is not something that happens overnight, but rather, it is a gradual awakening that spreads across the globe like a spark catching fire. The awakening of the collective consciousness is a powerful force. When we begin to see beyond the false world created by the archons, we begin to see each other as we truly are, divine beings, interconnected with all of existence. This realization binds us together in a shared purpose: to free ourselves from the illusions of the material world and to return to the true source of all creation. The collective awakening is not just an individual battle, but a collective one. The more we awaken, the more the archon's grip on the world weakens. The power of the false reality is based on our collective ignorance, and as we collectively awaken, we dismantle the illusion piece by piece. As the collective awakening grows, the archons intensify their efforts to keep humanity enslaved. This is no longer a war of perception, but a battle for our very souls. The archons, who are not merely physical entities, but also exist in the realm of consciousness, seek to distract, confuse, and suppress the growing awareness among humans. They know that once humanity fully awakens to its true nature, their control over us will be shattered. To prevent this, they pull every trick in their arsenal. They create false narratives, foster division, and spread fear, ensuring that we remain focused on the material world and the fabricated stories they have told us. But those who are ready for the truth understand that the true battle is not one of external conflict, but an internal one. We must battle the fears and doubts implanted in our minds by the archons. We must face the illusions head-on and reclaim our divine right to know the truth. As the battle for souls intensifies, the divine feminine emerges once again, guiding those who seek the truth toward enlightenment. The wisdom of Sophia, who has always been the keeper of divine knowledge, is the key to overcoming the archons. Her wisdom transcends the material world and can show us the way out of the illusion. The sacred feminine is not just a passive force, but an active one that pushes against the forces of deception and illuminates the path to spiritual freedom. Sophia, who once fell in her quest for creation, now rises to help humanity break free from the false world. She offers us the wisdom to see beyond the limitations of our physical senses, to recognize the divine spark within, and to reclaim the truth of who we are. Her role in the battle for our souls is crucial. She teaches us that true strength lies not in domination or control, but in unity, wisdom, and compassion. The divine feminine is the force that heals the fractures within us, helping us align with the true Creator and step out of the matrix of illusion. As humanity continues its journey toward awakening, the veil that has hidden the true Creator begins to lift. For millennia, we have been told that the God we worship is the ultimate source of creation, but the truth is far more profound and far more liberating. The true Creator is not a distant deity who rules over us from above. The true Creator is the source of all life, a boundless, infinite force of love and creation that exists within and around us. It is the force that connects all things, from the smallest atom to the vastest star. The true Creator is not a being to be worshipped from afar, but an essence to be experienced and understood from within. As the true Creator is unveiled, we realize that we are not separate from it, we are part of it. Our divine spark is a fragment of the Creator itself, and as we awaken, we reconnect with this source of all life. This realization is the final key to our liberation, to understand that we are not just creations of God, but expressions of God itself. The final chapter of this journey is not one of death or destruction, but of return. The Great Return is the moment when humanity, as a collective, returns to the true Creator, shedding the illusions that have kept us trapped in the false world. This return is not a physical one, but a spiritual one, a return to the source of all creation, where we once again experience unity with the divine. As we make this return, we understand that the world we have known was never the final destination. The material world, with all its trials and tribulations, was merely a stepping stone on the path to spiritual enlightenment. The illusions of the archons, the false god, and the matrix were all part of the process that allowed us to remember who we truly are. The Great Return is the awakening of humanity as a whole. It is the moment when we realize that we have always been divine, always connected to the true Creator, and that the journey was simply a process of remembering. In this return, we are reunited with the divine, free from the constraints of the material world, and able to create freely as divine beings, just as we were meant to. As humanity awakens to its true nature, the world around us begins to transform. The illusions that once clouded our perception fade away, revealing the true beauty and harmony of the earth. The false world created by the archons no longer has a hold on us, and the material world begins to reflect the divine order that has always existed beneath the surface. The new earth is not a physical place that we travel to, but a state of consciousness. It is a world where love, compassion, and wisdom guide our actions. It is a world where we live in alignment with the true Creator, and we see the interconnectedness of all life. This new way of being is not limited by the boundaries of the material world, but extends into the spiritual realms, where the divine is always present. As we embrace the new earth, we understand that the old ways of suffering, division, and fear are no longer necessary. We begin to live in unity with each other and with the planet, recognizing that all beings are expressions of the divine. The new earth is a world of peace, joy, and enlightenment, where we are free to express our divine nature fully. With humanity awakening to its true potential, the power of the archons begins to crumble. For eons, these dark forces have kept us trapped in a cycle of ignorance and suffering, but their reign is coming to an end. The illusions they created are being dismantled, and their control over humanity is slipping away. The archons, desperate to maintain their grip on the material world, may attempt to create chaos and confusion in their final stand. But their power is based on deception, and as more and more people awaken, the very foundation of their rule begins to collapse. The world that they built, a world based on fear, control, and illusion, no longer holds any power over those who see the truth. The end of the archons' reign is not a violent overthrow, but a peaceful dissolution. As more people realize their true nature and their connection to the divine, the archons lose their ability to manipulate us. The false world they created becomes less and less relevant, and the true reality, one of love and unity, takes its place. As humanity breaks free from the control of the archons, we enter a new phase of evolution, an ascension. This ascension is not a physical transformation, but a spiritual one. It is the elevation of human consciousness to higher realms of understanding, where we recognize our divine nature and our oneness with the Creator. The ascension process is an awakening to the limitless potential that lies within each of us. We begin to understand that we are not bound by the limitations of the material world, but are spiritual beings capable of transcending time, space, and form. As we ascend, we shed the old identities and beliefs that have held us back, and we embrace our true essence as divine creators. This ascension is not just a personal transformation, but a collective one. As more people awaken to the truth and embrace their divine nature, humanity as a whole rises to a higher level of consciousness. This shift in awareness will lead to a world where love, wisdom, and peace reign, and where the old systems of power and control are no longer needed. In the final stages of our journey, we come to a profound realization. The truth of creation is eternal. It is not something that can be created or destroyed, for it has always existed and will always exist. The true Creator, the source of all life, is not separate from us, but is the very essence of who we are. We are not merely creations of the divine, we are expressions of the divine, eternal and unchanging. This realization frees us from the illusion of time and the fear of death. We understand that we are part of the eternal cycle of creation, that our souls are eternal, and that we are connected to all beings across all dimensions. The truth of creation is not limited to the material world, but spans the vastness of the cosmos, encompassing all that is, was, and ever will be. As we awaken to this truth, we realize that we are not bound by the false constructs of the material world. We are free to create, to explore, and to live in alignment with the divine purpose that has always been within us. The eternal truth of creation is a living force that flows through us, guiding us toward enlightenment and unity with the divine. The final realization is the understanding that all is one. The boundaries that once separated us, whether through race, religion, culture, or belief, disappear as we come to see that we are all expressions of the same divine source. We are not separate from each other, but deeply interconnected, bound together by the divine energy that flows through all life. The oneness of all is a truth that transcends the material world. It is the recognition that every living being, every atom, every star is a part of the divine whole. As we awaken to this truth, we no longer see the world through the lens of separation, but through the lens of unity and interconnectedness. This realization is the ultimate freedom. When we understand that we are all one, we no longer feel the need to compete, to dominate, or to separate ourselves from others. We are free to live in harmony with all beings, recognizing that each one is a reflection of the divine. The oneness of all is the foundation of the new earth, a world where love, compassion, and unity guide our actions, and where we are free to express our divine nature fully. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel for more content, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think.